Hey guys, we're going to jump right into the video. I am starting off by priming my eyelids, and I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Tan Sand to do so. I am just blending it out with my damp beauty blender, and yes, we are starting off with the eyes today. Once I have this shade all blended out, I'm going to go in with some translucent setting powder. Honestly, any translucent powder will do, and I'm just setting my concealer that I have on my eyelid. So once that's all set, I'm going in with this Z palette here. I have it full of my Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and these are the eyeshadows that we're going to be using today, the matte eyeshadows I should specify. So I'm first going to go in with the shade Tan Lines, and I'm taking this on a Morphe M441. This is our transition shade, and I am just blending this into the upper crease area, going back and forth in windshield wiper motions. I do dip back into the pan and reapply color to my eyelid. I just build it up to the intensity that I want. It's always best to start off light and then build up the color, because once you have too much, it's really hard to take that away or to blend it away. Again, I want to keep this look super soft, so I'm using pretty neutral eyeshadow colors and then just making sure everything is really nice and blended. I'm then going in with the shade Sidekick. It's a bit warmer and a bit deeper, and I'm taking it on that same brush, and I'm just going to put it right below that first shade that we have on our eyelid and further deepen up the crease area. Again, just making sure that it is nice and blended, and I'm also listening to music, so you might see me singing throughout the video. So then I'm taking the shade Mocha, and I'm taking this on a Morphe M433. This is a very neutral brown, and I'm using this shade to deepen up the outer corner to add some depth and dimension to the eyes. So I'm pressing it into the outer corner, and then I'm blending it out, and I'm also taking it slightly into the outer crease just to make sure that we deepen it to the intensity that we want and that it's really nice and blended. After I blend this shade out, I will go back in with the Morphe M441 just to make sure all three of the colors are blended really nicely together. And as you saw from the title, it is a natural glam look. I'm actually wearing this to my nephew's baptism. So side note, why I'm doing the voiceover, because my whole family's getting ready right now and the house is just really hectic. But back to the eyes, it's nice and blended out. So I am taking Vanilla Bean, and I'm taking it on a BH Cosmetics brush, and I'm using this to highlight my brow bone. I'm then taking some of that same Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm using this just to clean up that inner half of my eyelid. It also creates a nice base for the shimmer eyeshadow that we're about to go in. So I'm just applying it with a Wet n Wild eyeshadow brush. I'm then buffing out the edges with my finger, and then I go back in with that blending brush just to blend out the crease area, because I don't want a sharp line at all. So I'm taking the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in the shade La Peach. It's in collaboration with Jackie Aina. And I'm using this as my all over lid shade. So I'm doing the exact same thing to the other side, taking the concealer, blending it on my lid, blending it out with my finger, and then with the brush as well. I don't want it to look like a cut crease at all, which is why I'm blending it out with the brush. And then I'm pressing it in with this BH Cosmetics brush. It's actually the same brush I used to highlight my brow bone, and just really blending that color onto the inner half of my eyelid. And then again, blending it all together. Here, I'm actually taking a little bit of Makeup Geek Corrupt. It's a very black eyeshadow, so I'm taking the tiniest amount, and I'm taking it on a smaller crease brush, and I'm just blending this into my outer corners. I wanted just a little bit more depth, so I added this shade as well. And then I'm taking that exact same shade on a eyeliner brush, and I am pressing this into my upper lash line. I do like some definition there to make my eyelashes look a little bit thicker, but I didn't want to use a liquid liner or a gel liner because I wanted to keep the look very nice and soft. Again, church appropriate since I'm going to my nephew's baptism. Then I am taking my L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara, my favorite mascara, and I'm using this to prep my eyelashes for falsies. I do like my mascara to completely dry before I go in with my falsies, so I'm going to move on to my face makeup. I'm taking the Skindinavia Primer Spray. This is the oil control one, and I'm spraying it all over my face. This is what I do when I want my makeup to last all day long. So once that dries, I'm going in with my Makeup Forever Mattifying Primer, and I'm applying this to my T-zone area everywhere that I get oily. Again, a really, really good primer if you are oily. And once that is on, I'm going to take some translucent powder. Now this is only if you are super oily. Take some translucent powder, put it in your T-zone. You want just a thin layer, but apply that to your T-zone and then go in with your foundation. It'll again help keep your oils at bay and they won't come out as quickly. So here I am taking the NARS Longwear Radiant Foundation in the shade Tahoe, and I am dotting this all over my face, and then I'm going to blend it out with my damp beauty blender. Oh my goodness, this is such a good foundation. It is so good. I have to go buy the full size because right now I'm just using a sample, but this foundation is so beautiful. It really is long wear, and it you really look like it really looks like your natural skin. So here I'm taking that same Tarte Shape 2 concealer and I'm using it to cover up my dark circles and highlight the rest of my face. And then I'm taking the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Beautiful Bronze and I am using this as a cream contour. So I'm applying it to my cheeks and my forehead and then buffing it out with that same damp beauty blender. I like to blend out the contour before the concealer because if you let the concealer set for just a little bit, it provides just a little bit more coverage, which is what I personally like, especially for my under eye area where I do have dark circles. So I blended out my chin, my cupid's bow, my nose up to my forehead, and then I will go out and blend out the under eye area. I do go back and forth between the pointy side of the beauty blender and the round side of the beauty blender just to make sure that it's blended really nicely into the other parts of my face. And once I have all that blended out, I am taking my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder and I am using this to set my under eyes. I am also pressing this into my nose where I get the most oily, the sides of my nose where I also get oily, and the rest of my T-zone, and then anywhere that I applied that concealer, I am also setting it with this translucent powder. I'm then taking it on a powder brush and then just dusting it all over the rest of my face so that my other powders blend nicely on top. This is the Sephora Micro Smooth powder in the shade Mahogany. I'm just going to dust off that translucent powder because it can leave me like a little white cast, kind of ghostly looking, so I just want to bring some color back into my face, which is why I use this one. And this one's really good because it's nice and thin, but it still does what I need it to do. I'm then taking my Makeup Geek bronzer in the shade Burnished, and I'm taking this on a Morphe R2. This is the only bronzer brush I use, and I am just placing that right on top of where we put that cream contour just to further deepen it up and define my cheeks and my forehead area. And once that is on, we are going to move back to the eyes. I am taking the Kiss eyelashes. These are in the style Ritzy. These are a really, really good natural pair of lashes. I love to use this for looks like this. I also use these exact lashes on my best friend when I did her wedding makeup because she told me she didn't want anything to look too crazy, and these honestly just enhance your natural eyelashes. They're so pretty and you can barely even tell, you can't even tell that they're fake eyelashes, so that's why I really like them. And once I have those popped on, I'm gonna go in for a little dance break because I don't know why, but there's something so satisfying about having your false eyelashes on. It really like pulls the eye look together and it makes me feel good, so I gotta do a feel good dance. So then I'm going into the Tan Lines shade again, and I'm taking this on a pencil brush. It's the Morphe E18, and I'm just buffing this all over my lower lash line. And then I'm taking this flat definer brush. It's a Morphe M432, and I'm picking up that shade Mocha, and I'm really going to press this into my lower lash line on the outer corner only, just to define that outer corner and again keep it very natural looking. I don't want to take it all the way across my lower lash line. And once I have that placed where I want it, I do go back in with that pencil brush and a little bit more of tan lines, and I just really buff that out and just make sure that the lower lash line is nice and buffed out and seamless. And again, we're going to dance it out just a little bit. So then I'm taking this Tarte blush palette and I'm using the shade Dainty. I'm taking this on a BH Cosmetics brush and I'm just going to apply this to my cheeks. It's a really pretty peachy yet natural looking blush color. I really love these Tarte blushes. And then when we're done dancing and singing, I am taking the Becca bronzer. I'm sorry, this is not a bronzer. The Becca highlighter in the shade Bronzed Amber. This is a very, very natural highlight, which is why I'm using it. I'm using it with a Morphe M501, which is a really good highlighting brush. This is going to be really subtle, which is what I want because, again, we're going to church, so it needs to be subtle. You know, we got to look good for Jesus, but it was a little bit too subtle for me, so I am taking a little bit of Champagne Pop, and I'm going to apply that right on top of Bronzed Amber, and I'm taking just the smallest amount just to give me a really, really nice, healthy looking glow. I also place this on the inner corners of my eye, the tip of my nose as you see here, and I'm going to place a little bit on my brow bone as well to further highlight my brow bone. And there it is. Then I'm going in with my Rimmel Lash Accelerator mascara and I'm just applying this to my lower lashes. I'm then taking this stippling brush and I'm just blending out that highlighter just a little bit more so again that it's more subtle. I am taking the L'Oreal Brow Gel and I'm just setting my brows just so that they stay in place all day and they don't move. And after that, I'm taking this e.l.f. lip gloss. I really, really like it. It is a plumping gloss though, so if you don't like that tingly sensation, you won't like this. But it's a super pretty gloss. It's in the shade Mocha, I believe. And I'm just applying this to my lips. And once that is on, I'm taking my Skindinavia setting spray and I'm going to spray this all over my face again just to really melt all the makeup together. It'll take the powdery look away from my face since I did apply a lot of powder and it'll just mesh everything together. It'll also lock it into place all day long. This is an amazing setting spray, totally worth the money. And then I'm taking my beauty blender and I'm kind of just pushing that in just to make sure it really is locked and loaded and set into place. And once I am done with that, the look is completed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe, like the video, and comment down below. And I will see you in the next video. Hold on tight a little longer. What don't kill you makes you stronger. What the hell, man? Pause. What? Is she? What? The Spirit of God in You. We were talking about that a few minutes ago in Kayla. There's Jordan Feliz, I'm Larry Wayne, and then